What is up, everybody? Welcome back to In the Moment with Dr. Brett Jones. Today, I'm joined by this beauty.
Hi.
I'm allowed to say it because she's actually my wife. This is Dr. Kate Jones.
Hello.
And today we're going to be adjusting her, and we're also going to be talking about chiropractic care for those new mothers. What are some things that you notice for new moms that you get to take care of in the office?
So a lot of what I see is this upper back area where your CT junction is, where your cervical spine meets your thoracic spine. You're just lovingly gazing at your new baby as you're breastfeeding. And for some reason, we always have to look at them every single time they eat. So I've noticed a lot of just sort of loading in this upper area because you're constantly looking down. Another thing that I experienced that made me incredibly grateful for chiropractic care postpartum was when I had Willow, I definitely had probably sprained a little bit of my pelvis.
Sprain, strain, for sure.
Yeah. In the delivery process. And so after I had her, when I was nursing her and my body was coming back together and healing, I was having a lot of really significant pain as everything was coming back together. So I was very grateful to have this one on call to really make sure that things were going back to where they should be and help me alleviate some of that pain through gentle and effective, caring, loving adjustments.
And there's a key word there that I don't know if it's been said yet, is relaxin. And so at the later state of pregnancy, mothers-to-be start to have this hormone called relaxin, which is actually helping gear everything for the birthing process, which is basically helping the ligaments and everything become really a little bit softer and everything becomes more mobile as the pelvis expands. Now, this relaxin is still in the system after you have the baby, and that's typically why we will change our technique up when adjusting mamas in that later stage of pregnancy and as they become new moms. It's a lot more gentler work because, again, not only have they gone through a lot, but again, they're not going to be able to, I would say, hold the adjustment as well when it's bigger adjustments. And so it's usually lighter work to make sure it's really gentle for the mom. So let's go ahead and check you out. You ready?
Perfect.
Lay down on your stomach.
Thanks for checking me out.
You got it. I checked you out 7 years ago and I liked what I saw, all right? So Kate and I got married in 2013 and we had Jackson. He was born what, 2014? Which you haven't seen yet, but hopefully some of you have seen the adjustment with Willow, which she was just turned 6 months last week. So she had her 6-month checkup with us. And yes, we had just had her, and they're 3 years apart. So today, it's all about you though. And so like she was saying, a lot of moms will build a lot of tension and compression right in between the shoulder blades and can also build it right in this junction. The junctions are a big area where a lot of people build stress. So you have what's called the TL junction, the thoracolumbar junction. It's basically where the mid-back starts to become the lower back. You also have where the lower back connects to the sacrum. So you could call that, the lumbosacral junction. And then you have the cervical thoracic junction, the CT junction. So those are all big areas where people can build stress. For my lovely wife, Kate, right now, we're right here, like a little bit above the bra line at about T5, T6. There's a big fixation there, or you could say subluxation or dysfunction within the neurospinal system. She also actually has a first rib that is not moving very well. And so if I palpate using my fingertips here on the front of the neck, what I'm palpating is just above the clavicle is the first rib. Most people think ribs, they usually want to talk about the back or they want to talk here, but there's this little rib that's like a little collar that goes from the top of the clavicle to T1. And so on the front of the neck, I'm feeling that there's something definitely going on at that first rib. So I'm going to see if I can actually make this adjustment while she's laying face down. And we'll see how it starts to open up. She's fighting me there. She does not want that adjustment. And so how do you know when and when not to make adjustments? The body will tell you. When the body starts seizing up, if you're going to set up on an adjustment, it's saying, no, not this way, or not right now. And so you might have to find a new position to make that adjustment in. So for her, I'm going to do that adjustment when we roll her over to her back. I also am going to prefer to do this anterior dorsal when she's laying on her back. So let's go ahead and check out the lower. So we're going to check out and see how the pelvis is moving here. And so for Kate, I'm picking up that there is some sacral fixation mainly at the base. It feels like an entire base posterior. So instead of being rotated one way or another, it feels like it's just back like this. And it is a little swollen still. So we got a little bit of swelling at the sacrum. So to me, that's an indicator for a base posterior. I'm gonna put her this side up. So face me this way. Sweet. Good. And Kate just got her hair cut and she thinks she looks like the emoji that's like this.
I do.
And so all we needed was a purple shirt and we would have been right there. And if you think she looks like the emoji too, then you can go ahead and comment on it, let us know. All right, so we're gonna be adjusting the base of the sacrum. This time I'm actually gonna be connecting right here. Again, hand positions can change. It's just whatever makes the best like mold and connection is how we wanna adjust. So I'm gonna roll right here. It's already starting to move. Went through the entire base of the sacrum, moved really nice. Lay on your back for me. Again, when I make an adjustment and it feels like it clears throughout the system, usually I don't roll back to stomach to recheck. I've been doing this for a little bit now, and so I've started to establish what a clean adjustment feels like and if it clears what I intended to clear. However, I can recheck through the feet when she is supine and everything's moving really nice. And a little story about how I think she fell in love with me, but maybe she has something different in mind. She was a dancer for a long time, did contemporary and hip hop dance. And I knew, since she was on her feet so much, that if I could learn how to adjust feet properly, maybe she'd fall in love with me. And that was the first extremity that I learned how to adjust. And sure enough, she married me and had my baby. So there we go. It worked. So now we're gonna adjust T5, T6 here. This is right there. Sometimes I like to bend, actually go and bend the knees slightly for me. When you bend the knees, it takes pressure off the low back, which allows you to connect a little bit more to the mid back. Ooh, that was another clean one. Yeah, baby. Put your hands here for me. So when she was laying on her stomach, I did find first rib that was not moving very well. And so when I went to go set up on it though, it felt like it did not want to be messed with in that position. Supine, I believe we have better access. And so what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing a supine adjustment coming in through this way. So it's a little bit different, not always done like this. I usually like to do it either seated or prone, but you can do it supine. So it's right here. Ooh.
Thank you.
Whew. So that bad boy hadn't moved in a while. Felt really, really nice, really clean, really specific. Something also unique about my wife's spine is she actually has her C2 and C3 blocked. So they are actually one vertebra, and then she has an extra lumbar. And so usually when people have some interesting things with their spine, they have multiple. You can still adjust a cervical blocked vertebra, just know that it's gonna move as one bone. You know, don't expect to adjust in between it. So for Kate, we're actually gonna adjust the C2, C3 body, and it's gonna move on the C4. Boom. So you can see how it sounds different. When it's blocked, it has a more of a thud. Boom. So you can still adjust it. It's interesting. Sometimes in student clinics, they'll put a red dot on the file saying that it's a contraindication to adjust. You can adjust a blocked vertebra depending on where it's at, depending on what it looks like. Hers is a congenital block, meaning that she was born with it, but it moves really well. It just moves as one bone. But it moves good. Neck feels great. You come on up, boo. Boom. Let them know, why are you most excited about chiropractic?
Why am I most excited about chiropractic? That's such a big question. I just love the way that we have the ability to communicate just how brilliant our bodies are and really restoring that power back into each individual. I mean, I know that, yes, Brett is obviously providing adjustments to me and helping facilitate my expression of life, but ultimately it is that intelligence that runs my body that's doing that. And I think that that's one of the most empowering concepts that we can give to ourselves, to our children, to this world, is really knowing how interconnected we are and how powerful each one of us is. So.
Boom. Put her on the spot too, and she crushed it. One other question for you.
Yes.
What's changed most in your life since being adjusted?
Oh man. Everything. I used to have really bad allergies. Those went away. I used to be ADHD. That went away. My focus, my overall health. I mean, I don't really get sick anymore.
I think a lot of people were surprised to hear that you could live a life completely non-dependent on any type of pharmaceutical drugs too. So it's like, we have a completely natural lifestyle. I personally haven't had any over-the-counter medication or pharmaceutical medication in the last 7 years. Our kids have never had any pharmaceuticals, and they're freaking healthy. And they're thriving, and that's been the biggest thing for me, is just seeing our family now just grow up in a new lifestyle. And anyway, there it is, y'all, in the moment. Thank you for checking it out. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you next time.